The New York Knicks are favorites to land Jimmy Butler if he gets traded away from the Miami Heat, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video. But real quick, make sure you subscribe to the channel. 17.5% of our viewers are subscribed, and we want to get those numbers up so you guys don't miss any of our content at all. So make sure to subscribe. But let's just jump right into it. We're here to talk basketball, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So, as I said, the New York Knicks are considered favorites to acquire Jimmy Butler if the Miami Heat decide to trade him per Bovada official sportsbook. The Knicks are plus 210 favorites, followed closely by the Philadelphia 76ers at plus 225. Then the Sacramento Kings, Brooklyn Nets, Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, and New Orleans Pelicans trail behind them. Now, obviously, I think that if Butler were able to pick between all these teams shown, he would probably pick the Philadelphia 76ers as he is good friends with Joel Embiid, but there's also a level of beef there, so who knows? The Knicks are a real good option for Jimmy Butler, though, and even better, I think Jimmy Butler is the perfect guy for the New York Knicks, especially this New York Knicks team. I would give almost all of our first-round draft picks. We have 8 of them. I'd give potentially 7, if I'm being real. I'd definitely give 6. Quentin Grimes also, maybe. I think Jimmy Butler on this New York Knicks team, if the roster can stay mainly the same and you can manage to keep Jalen Brunson, obviously, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, and hopefully Isaiah Hartenstein, you have a team that will win the NBA Finals in 2025. Because this is not going to happen at the deadline. This would happen over the summer. So if this were to happen, which would require, sorry, I'm getting excited, the Miami Heat to probably lose in the first round or get bounced in the play-in. And then Jimmy might request a trade and be like, hey, look, I did a lot of good for you guys in these 5 years, but it didn't work out. I got to go. This team is falling apart. We're out of assets. Our role players keep leaving. We can't do this. Tyler Hero's not a first option on a championship team when it comes to scoring the ball. So, sorry, I'm out. And then the Knicks would have to go and do everything they possibly could to get Jimmy Butler. So, if we look at this, Kendrick Perkins has said that it's time for the Miami Heat to go and Jimmy Butler to go their separate ways. He believes that the Heat need to do right by Jimmy and trade him to a team that can actually compete for a title this season. Here's where I agree and disagree with Kendrick Perkins. I just don't think this would happen this season. I feel like that's very unlikely to imagine that the Miami Heat would trade Jimmy Butler at the deadline, but I could see them trading Butler sometime around the offseason, maybe during the draft or after the draft and the offseason. I think that is realistic during free agency. And I think that would just be the perfect move for the Knicks. I mean, I think that solves all their problems. They have an elite defensive unit. I mean, OG and Jimmy Butler on the wings would be amazing to watch. That would be such a great defensive duo. You then still have Jalen Brunson getting you nearly 28 points a night. Mitchell Robinson playing that low post defense. Julius Randle there. None of them are bad defenders. You have a multitude of good defenders. I think this team would be perfect and would go on to win the 2025 NBA Finals. Now, if we take a look at what Jimmy Butler's done throughout his career, he spent time with a few different teams, very short amount of time with Minnesota and Philly. And then he went on to the Miami Heat, where he was great. That siren in the back there, that's just telling the Knicks to go trade for Jimmy Butler. That's exactly what that noise is. I totally planned that, and it's definitely not just 8th Avenue in Manhattan. But look, Butler's averaging 21 points per game this season while also getting 4 assists and 5 rebounds. He's getting 1 steal a game. He's also shooting over 40% from 3 for a season for the first time in his career. Sure, it's only on 2.1 attempts, but 42% is 42%. He's also shooting 49% from the field, and he's doing all of that in under 34 minutes a night. Jimmy Butler's an elite player, and he only gets better in playoff moments, and that's exactly where we're going right now, because in the playoffs, over the last 2 seasons, Jimmy Butler's averaged 27 points per game, as he's just been a monster. I mean, he played 17 playoff games, 2021-22 season, put up 27 points, got 2 steals per game, 4 assists, 7.5 rebounds, shot well over 50% from the field, and then 34% from 3. And then last season, in the playoffs when they went to the NBA Finals and lost in 6, He averaged 27 points, shot 36% from the field, so another climb, and then also 47% from the field while balling out, getting 6 rebounds in the process and 6 assists. Jimmy Butler is such a well-rounded talent, and it's just the final piece for the Knicks and exactly what this team needs. I sincerely hope the Knicks do this, and it would take a lot. It would take nearly, because let's consider again, the biggest thing drawing us back from this is the fact that Pat Riley runs the Miami Heat. I don't think he would make a trade with the New York Knicks. I think it would be very, very difficult. I want this to happen so badly, but I do not believe in it. Not with Pat Riley there. I'm pretty sure Pat Riley would rather light himself on fire at halftime of a Miami Heat game than trade Jimmy Butler to the New York Knicks. I genuinely think that's true. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I think he would rather set himself on fire than trade Jimmy Butler to the Knicks. Like, if Leon Rose hired some goons to go to Pat Riley's house and say, we're going to burn your house down and take all your money, unless you give the Knicks Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley would say, do it. He just wouldn't trade Jimmy, but I don't think he'll trade Jimmy Butler to the Knicks. But you never know. Weird things have happened. The Knicks did make a trade for OG Anunoby in the midst of a lawsuit between the Knicks and the Raptors, where it was a blockbuster trade that sent RJ and IQ away to the Toronto Raptors, where they're playing great and we'll always love them in New York, for OG Anunoby, who's made the Knicks the greatest team of all time. But in reality, he's made the Knicks a team that's 14-2 since acquiring him. One of those losses came without Jalen Brunson. The team is elite. Adding Jimmy Butler just further extends the Knicks into this elite team. And here's a quick quote from Stephen A. Smith, probably the most famous Knicks fan in sports. He said that he loves Jalen Brunson and that he appreciates him, but still the Knicks can't win with him as the number one option. I don't know if this is taken out of context and he means the number one scoring option or the best player on a championship team, because I think Jalen Brunson can be the number one scoring option on a championship team. Can he be the best player? Jury's still out. Add Jimmy Butler, he might not have to be the best player. And that team, I don't care who you want to say the better players. Jalen Brunson, Jimmy Butler, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, that starting five, that can win the NBA Finals. That can pretty much dominate to the NBA Finals. I mean, who's stopping that? Yeah, the Celtics are good, but they're injury prone, and the Knicks could beat that. They'd match up really well with that team because Jimmy Butler loves to put Jason Tatum in jail. That means OG's guarding Jalen Brunson. That'd be a nightmare. And then Brunson guarding Jalen Brunson. OG's guarding Jaylen Brown, which would be a nightmare for them. And then Jalen Brunson would be free to cook. Julius Randle can be hidden on defense, even though he's a perfectly good defender. You can hide Brunson and Randle, both above average defenders, but Brunson can guard Derek White, who's going to play more off the ball. Randle can guard Drew Holiday just for the strength purposes of it all. Then have Mitch just kind of be that floater who guards Porzingis. And if Porzingis goes down with an injury, then that team is screwed. So the Knicks would be just fine. I think they'd walk past the Bucks with that team. I think they would be easily the best team in the Eastern Conference if they could acquire Jimmy Butler and keep the rest of their starting five. And also, I think they could beat any team out west and probably would. The Knicks have to try to do this move. Go for it. Get the tunnel vision, please, Leon, and just do everything you can to get Jimmy Butler to this team and pair him with the rest of this Knicks starting five. That would change the New York Knicks and probably win us an NBA championship. So please do it. Comment down below if you agree with me or if you disagree. I love the disagreements in the comments. They're always fun to read. I'll try to respond to as many as I can. Sometimes it gets a little difficult, and sometimes I just genuinely forget, and that's okay. But like this video, subscribe to Knicks Digest, do all that good stuff. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss a single video from us. 17.5% of you are subscribed. We want to get that number up so none of our viewers miss any of our videos. Have a great day, guys, and go Knicks.